All right, y'all. What's up? It's your boy P-Lot, aka the Brick Slinger, and guess what? Your boy got something to say. It's just, I don't know about some of y'all, but just like the rest of y'all, I've seen the Dave Chappelle special, Sticks and Stones, and despite all the profanity and all the other stuff that he was doing, I really like the special. And I liked it because I know what Dave Chappelle is capable of. I know, just like some other Dave Chappelle fans, I know what Dave Chappelle was capable of, know what he was about, know what he was going to be able to do some crazy, intellectual, thought-provoking, everything that Dave Chappelle was Dave Chappelle was all about. That's what he brought to this special, Sticks and Stones. And it was obvious that he was going to rub a lot of people the wrong way because, well, let's face it, we live at a time where people are trying to control a whole lot of everything with that, whether it's social media, public relations, and celebrities, whatever the case may be. But Dave basically just said, you know what? I'm not here to play these games, so this is what y'all gonna get from me no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So when he came up starting off with the Prince song and speaking about one celebrity who traveled around the world, had the best job in the world, and commit suicide, and then turn around and talk about another dude who was trying to live a life, be in law school, got married, then divorced, and then end up being a manager of Foot Locker. But he didn't commit suicide. It's like there was a lot of things. It was like Dave Chappelle was basically putting the mirror up on America and say, this is what y'all coming to be. This is what this culture is coming to be. This is what society is coming to be. You know what I'm saying? We want to bring up somebody's jacked up statement that they made 5 years ago, 20 years ago, mistakes and other stuff that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago, and then bring it up now. And what is the point being proven? What is the point being proven? You know what I'm saying? The way folks did Kevin Hart when he was about to host the Oscar. I guarantee you, if he would have hosted that Oscar, the last Oscar, he would have made Oscar award show #1. Point blank, period. But the thing is, they ended up somebody decided to bring up a old tweet, which causes Kevin Hart to not only step aside and no longer be the host, but to mess around and continue apologizing for something that happened 10 years ago. And he grows up and mature and continue to tell people, look, this is not what I was I'm not who I was 10 years ago. I'm a different dude. I'm no longer in that situation. And plus, if you really think about that tweet, it really wasn't any homophobic anything. You know what I'm saying? It may have been a bad joke, but it was not homophobic in a way. But it was taken homophobically because, well, let's face it, we're no longer in a time where people are being hush-hush. No, folks are coming out of the woodwork and say, we're not allowing this. You know what I'm saying? We're not allowing people just gonna come up and say something that they want to say and don't get consequences. Excuse me. It's like people are trying to flip the script all of a sudden. It's like it's no longer a free speech type of country anymore. It's not a free speech type of society. It's not a free speech type of media anymore. Because now it's like people is pulling out the work, and Dave says, you know what? Since this how you want to play, I'm going to play it with you. You know what I'm saying? And then bring up Michael Jackson, and it's like this man been dead for 10 years, and all of a sudden we got a couple of dudes talking about this is what he did to me when I was little. It's like, dude, one of them was on trial defending Michael. And now all of a sudden, since he couldn't get a gig working for Mike, after his death, in his in this little special joint, this circuit, forgive me if I mispronounce it, all of a sudden put out a book and said, this is what Michael Jackson did to me. This to me. And now it's not even that Michael Jackson's brothers is standing up and saying, man, this is some bull. This is some major bulls. The nephews and nieces coming out the woodwork and say, I know this dude lying. I know they're not telling the truth because this was the case. It's like, come on, man. It's when it's so messed up when the next generation has to step up and say, we know these dudes lying. We know this dude lying. And it's like, the more this special keeps digging in, and then he started breaking down the LGBT community and the Q community and all that stuff, and break down what would they like, this, that, and the third. It's not even poking fun of them, but it's kind of exposing what this community is based upon. The letter people. That's what I'm gonna call them, the leather people, because it seems like every year a new letter pops up to represent this community. So it's the leather people. I know people call them the alphabet squad. I call them the letter people because it seems like another letter just pop up to express a sexual activity as opposed to living. It ain't about living with this community. It's about enjoying a sexual lifestyle without being persecuted. And if they get persecuted, they turn around and persecute you and say you're a hypocrite, you judgmental, you don't need to be saying anything. Boom, bam, pow. So one thing I really love about Sticks and Stones is the fact that Dave Chappelle said, you know what? I'm not gonna let y'all stop me from being who I am. I'm not going to let y'all stop me from saying what I want to say. I'm not going to let y'all stop me from being the person that I am and the brand that I represent. Because he basically said it in the get-go. Y'all the reason I want to stop entertaining because y'all the most difficult people I'll ever entertain. And it's crazy that he did the special talking about the things he was talking about at Atlanta, Georgia. Just let that sink in for a minute, because I don't think y'all understand what I just said. He did the special at Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is being known as the Mecca of the letter people. It's no longer going to be the city that gives you Outkast, Crisscross, TLC, Goody Mob, T.I., Yin Yang Twins. It ain't going to be none of that. It's going to be known for the letter people. It's going to be the Mecca of the letter people. And he did that special boldly in that city. So what did that So what do that shows us as Christians what we need to be doing? We need to be as bold, like the scripture said, be gentle as a dove, but be like a serpent. You know what I'm saying? Not being cutthroat, not being deceitful in any way, but be bold enough to stand up and stand out and be ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are getting at Dave because his special has poked fun of a lot. Wasn't even poking fun of folks, but it's in a comedic way exposing folks, and they don't like it. The left side don't like it. The letter people don't like it. People are trying to critique this special, but calling it a hate speech special as opposed to saying this is a classic piece of work. Because you expect comedians to do a job of a comedian, but in this time of day, it's going to be hard to be a comedian, just as much as it's going to be hard to be a prolific spoken word artist, and it's going to be hard to be a Christian. It's going to be hard to be anything nowadays because we're living at a time where everybody's talking about it's a free for all, but there's a limitation. But I'm gonna consider this part one. You know what I'm saying? Consider what I'm doing as part one, because I'm going to do a whole series about it. I'm just going to call it Dave Chappelle is a Genius. And I'm going to explain why. Until then, it's your boy P-Lot, a.k.a. the Brick Slinger. Continue to sharpen each other up. Support the kingdom. Y'all take care and God bless. Laborers.